In this lesson, you are going to learn about Fibonacci series. At first, we will discuss Fibonacci series theoretically, and then we'll implement the knowledge practically, okay? So let's see what is a Fibonacci series. A Fibonacci series is a series that will start always with 0, 1, and then the next number will be the addition of last two numbers. So 0 and 1 will be 1 here, right? And then the next number in this series will be the addition of last two numbers. So here we have 1 plus 1 will be 2. What about the next Fibonacci series? It will be the addition of last two numbers. So in our case, 2 and 1 here, 2 and 1 will be 3. What about the next Fibonacci number? It's going to be 3 plus 2, it will be 5 here, right? And this is how it's going to continue. Now that you got some understanding that you need to always start from 0 and 1, so let's say your first value a equals 0 and b equal 1, okay? And this is how you're going to start. Then what will be the condition for Fibonacci? What is the formula? In this case, we can say Fibonacci equal a plus b. That's how we're going to get the Fibonacci number always. Okay, fair enough. So now that we are done with these first three, what about the next one? So for the next one, we need to change the value of a and b, right? Because now we are going to add these two. Even though previously we started by saying that the value of a is 0 and the value of b is 1. But this time, we need to change. So in this case, the last value of b will be our new a, and the last value of Fibonacci will be our new b. And now, if you continue with this formula always, and if you run this process always, then you will see the results. So let's say this time, what about this Fibonacci number? If you can see, it's the addition of last two, a and b, and you can see 1 plus 1 is 2. So what we have found here, we need to start like this. Here I'm going to put, so we will start from 0. A will be our first, 0 will be our first value, and 1 will be our second value always. And this is how we need to start. And then we can find out the Fibonacci number by saying a plus b, right? But these are only for the first three numbers. And then we need to change a and b every time. And how we are going to do that? The last value of b will be our new a, and the last value of Fibonacci number is going to be our new a, because these two variable a and b needs new numbers in order to calculate the Fibonacci number. And we'll be running this process as long as we want, actually. So we'll see that. Let's see if the user wants to get 5 Fibonacci numbers or 10. If the user wants to run until 10, then we need to find out how many Fibonacci numbers until 10. And we can do that. So let's start in our real program. So hopefully you got the concept of Fibonacci. Let's go back to the program here. Now, this is the one we are going to start, print first and Fibonacci numbers. Let's see how can we do that. There are many ways we can solve a problem. Again, sometimes you might see people are saying instead of a, they are going to say this one is a first variable and this is the second variable. And then Fibonacci equal first plus second. They will say second will go to the first and Fibonacci will go to the second. And that's how, whatever the variable name you want to assign, it's up to you. Okay, let's come back. We are going to take the user input here. So of course we need to know how many Fibonacci numbers the user want. Okay, so let's say if the user say you need to run it until 10, then we need to find out all the Fibonacci numbers between 1 to 10. All right, and then as we already have seen that we are going to start from 0 and the next number will be 1. So these are first two Fibonacci numbers in our series always. Okay, and then also we can define the loop variable here as well. Let's continue. What we are going to do this time, we're going to take the user input here. We need to know what is the user expectation, how many numbers, until how many numbers user wants to run this. So here I'm going to say printf, enter the value of n, enter the value of n. All right, and we're going to take that input with the help of scanf. Let's do that. We can also do the validation here, something we have seen earlier quite many times. So let's do the validation here. If, let's say here we are going to use the scanf again, and then we're going to use %d, and then we want to make sure this is not equal to 1. If it is not equal to 1, which means there is something wrong. In this case, we can show a message here. So let's show that printf, please enter a valid input. Invalid input, please enter an integer. Please enter an integer. All right, fair enough. We can add few more validation if you want. So let me just copy and paste real quick this one here. And of course, we need to return to the compiler if there is anything wrong. Okay, here I'm going to do the same thing, return 1. So we are just adding few validation, nothing and nothing to do with our, what do you call, Fibonacci formula here. Okay, then this time we're going to check if the number is here less than or equal to 0, then we're going to show, hey, it's an invalid input, please, n must be greater than 0. N must be greater than 0, must be greater than 0. There you go. So now that we have our validation, it's time to print out the palindrome number, Fibonacci number. Okay, so let's do that here. We're going to use for loop, and of course we're going to run it from 1. So here we're going to say I equal 1. Again, we could declare the variable even inside the for loop. So let me just take it from here and declare it here. Okay, so integer I equal 1, and then we're going to say I less than equal n, and then I plus plus. Now what is happening here? Let's say if somebody gives us 6 as a last value of as the value of n, then we are going to run from 0 to 6, right? So again, we have printed, actually we can print it earlier. I will show you what do I mean by that. Let me just continue from here, and when I will solve this, then you will see the problems. Maybe then we can solve it together again. But let's start. Here I'm going to print the variable value. So first value we are going to print, it's going to be, of course, the variable value a. So 0 will be printed here for the first time. And why is that? Because we are running the loop from 1. Again, try to understand, if somebody gives us 6 here, we need to print out all the Fibonacci numbers before this one, right? So we need to start always from 0, and this is where basically we are starting. At the first time we have 0 for the variable value a, so we are printing that immediately, okay, even before doing anything. And that's why we're running the loop from 1. So 0 will be printed anyway, and now running the loop from 1 to n. That's our plan. Okay, let's do that. Let's go back here. So here now the formula of the Fibonacci comes here. Now again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to define a variable here for the Fibonacci. So let's do that. Here is the variable called Fibonacci. You can name it anything, even you can name it C here, no problem. So Fibonacci equal is going to be a plus b, as we already have seen, and the variable b will be assigned to a, and variable b will have the value of Fibonacci. That should be all, and that's all actually. And then next time when it will come, it will print the value of a every time. Okay, and you'll see the result. You can run this program, and let's do it together. Let's see what do we get here after running this program. So here I'm going to compile and run, and let's say if the last value is 15, and what basically we have here, something is wrong here. And why is that? It's a segmentation fault. Let's see what is that here. Let's go all the way up. Okay, there is a variable missing here, and we need to give the variable n. All right, let's compile and run it again, and let's see what we have this time. Here I'm going to run, and if I give the value 15, this time we can see we are starting from 0. Fair enough, that's the first one will be printed always. And in the next one, what will happen? 0 plus 1 will be 1. Here, try to understand. So the first Fibonacci will be 1, and then a will have the value of b. That means the last value of b was 1, so here we're going to assign that, and the v is going to have the Fibonacci number 1. All right, we'll go back here because we said we want to run it 1 to 15, right? So we are getting how many Fibonacci number here? You can see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we want to run this process until 15, right? So let's continue. What do you see? What's going to happen? This time when come back, we are printing the last value of a, which was 1. Fair enough. Again, we are coming here inside. This time it will be 1 plus 1 because the last value of a was 1, last value of b was 1 as well. So 1 plus 1 will be 2. Now, what was the last value of b? Of course, it was 1 in our case. So that's why this one will be assigned. But what was the last value of Fibonacci? It was 2 here, as you can see. So here we're going to assign 2. Again, we'll come back. It will be running from 1 to n. And this time we're going to get, what is the number here? Fibonacci is going to be the last value of a was 1, and the last value of b was 2. So 1 plus 2 is going to be 3. Fair enough. And then we'll be coming back here. Again, the last value of b was 2. So we're going to assign that. And the last value of Fibonacci is 3 here. So when we'll come inside the loop again, check the condition. If it works for sure, then we're going to print the variable value a here. So that's why it's going to be a is going to be 2 here, right? And this is how we are going to continue actually. All right. So hopefully you understood the way I have solved this problem. Again, there are many ways. As I said, you can also print here Fibonacci numbers. Let me show you if I print Fibonacci numbers, what's going to happen. So we're going to change a bit. So what basically we want to do, let me go back to our plan again. So we will print A and B at the beginning, and then we are going to print only the Fibonacci numbers, because Fibonacci number is addition of A and B. So how can we do that? Let me show you one way to do it. Here I'm going to copy this, and maybe I'm going to print it here. And this time, let's say print A and B. Of course, I need one more %D here. There are many ways to solve a problem, as I said you earlier. And now what we will do here, we are going to print the Fibonacci number after calculating the Fibonacci each time. So let's do that here. Calculate the Fibonacci, print it here. Fibonacci. And let's see what happened, okay? If there's something wrong, we'll fix that. There's nothing wrong with that. So let's continue. Here we will compile and run again. And it says enter the value of n. So if I give 6 here, and let's see how many Fibonacci we have. So we have first 2 Fibonacci there always. And then we have 2, 4, 6. So we have few more. So that's why what we can do, we already have printed 2 Fibonacci numbers. That means the count should be starting from 3 in this case. And here I'm going to put some space as well. Now let me compile and run, and let's see what happened this time. If I give 6 here, so basically I want to have 6 Fibonacci numbers. And there you go, it shows 6 Fibonacci numbers there. Now let's compile it and run again, and let's see what happens if I try with 10 Fibonacci numbers. So we have these first 2 Fibonacci numbers, and then it can continue like that. Now, of course, our program is working, but what about if I give here the value of n is 1? What do you think in this case, what will happen? So we're looking for only 1 Fibonacci number, but still we're printing 2 Fibonacci numbers without checking anything. So even though if I give 1, you'll see it's going to print 2. Let me show you what do I mean by that. So if I give here 1, basically that means I want to show the only 1 Fibonacci number of the series, but it is giving us 2. That means we need to handle the case. And this is not going to be so much difficult for us. So let's do that here. I'm going to print a, I'm going to check a condition here. And let's do that here. If we can say n equal 1, if somebody is just giving the value of n is 1, so they want to see only 1 Fibonacci number. In this case, we want to do something. Otherwise, of course, we'll be keeping this one. Okay, so what do we want to do in this case? We want to just print one variable value, which is going to be a. So let me just put it there and take this one out from here to here. So hopefully this one making sense. Otherwise, everything looks perfect here. And of course, there are a few more things we could do here. For an instance, instead of Fibonacci, you could use the variable name something like next as well. This is also fine. And in the end, maybe I want to print a new line here. So let's do that. I'm going to print a new line here. There you go. And is there anything else we can do? I'm just thinking real quick. I don't see anything. But of course, we can also print like how many Fibonacci numbers we are printing. So let's go here. Okay, I'm going to show a message. Printf, and this time it's going to be first Fibonacci numbers, first 5 or 6, something like this. It will show first 5 Fibonacci numbers, all right? And then we need to print those out. That's why I'm going to print them. And of course, the variable n will be printed here for the %d. So let me show you what basically we're doing here. Now, this time if I compile and run, and let's say here, one more thing. After we print the first value, if somebody gives the value of n is 1, then we need to print only 1 Fibonacci number, which is going to be 0. Then we need to return to compiler. So let's do that. So we are going to return from here, return 0. So here I need to make it right. All right, let's compile and run. Let's see what the output is going to be. If I give 1, of course, you can see the first Fibonacci number is 0 here. And then let's run it again. Let's say this time if I want to see 2 Fibonacci numbers, it shows 0 and 1. And let's run it again. Let's say this time if I want to see 5 Fibonacci numbers, it shows first 5 Fibonacci numbers here. That should be all. I hope you got the concept of Fibonacci number. Now we are going to do a few more like a variation of this series.